So where were we?
We're going to
Welcome
start the
back to
show.
another episode of the Controversial and Uncontroversial Podcast.
No, we're not doing that.
Oh,
We're not doing that.
fine.
All righty. Welcome back,
Ready?
everyone. Chuck. Welcome everyone
Is it
back.
recording?
Are we
Shut up.
recording?
Okay. Now we're starting.
Is there an agenda?
There is. Welcome
Did
back,
we
everyone,
add
to the
stuff
Chuck.
at the last second?
Stop it.
Speeding up, no slowing down. And with all this hemming and hawing, I will do what needs to be done. And welcome back to another episode of the Track Packers Podcast. I am not your host, Mason Eisenzimmer. I am your. Am I still in the front row?
I don't know. Are
I
you?
don't really know anymore.
I think I am, but I might be wrong.
Did you fart?
No, but thank
I
you
heard
for
that too.
asking, Mason. That was my
wondering
phone.
what that was.
That was my phone updating me on a sports deal.
Oh, that makes more sense now, Jessica.
Yep. It
Okay.
does.
I have 4 pitchers for this week, just a heads up.
And that is John Breckle of John Breckle Announcing LLC.
Yes.
We are also being visited by Mason Eisenzimmer of Mason Aaron Racing Videos. Now, how's everyone doing this week? John,
Wonderful.
very good. Mason,
Great.
great. And myself, I am doing wonderful. Now, Becca is not with us, for she is not feeling well.
So she's not doing wonderful.
No, she's sleeping. Anyways, now, John, this is about the point of the show where we always talk about one of our lead sponsors. Can you give us more information on it?
Did you know, race fans? We're sponsored by Tyler Hall, who does a great amount of work throughout the racing community over there in the Red River Valley. Tyler runs a great business called Hitch. He has a lot of customers that visit him on his website of hitchharness.com. You can check him out for all types of truck accessories, as well as his main item, how to protect your truck bed hitch. We do not want to have the hitch fly out of the truck, knock Jessup in the head, and even lose more common sense than he already does not have. So be sure to make sure you protect your hitch by visiting hitchharness.com.
Thank you, John. Now, Mason, are you ready yet?
Yeah, I'm ready. I was just going to let it go and see how long you're going to do this.
All right, go ahead, Mason. Take off.
All righty. Well, where's my green flag? There we go.
Is this the official green flag?
Well, we have to. I haven't said the lineup yet. So the lineup is John on the pole, followed by Jessup and myself.
Neat.
I've made the poll.
Second week in a row, you're on the pole, I believe.
I know, Jessup, I'm going to push you off the track this week.
Much like Kyle Larson does in sprint car racing.
And like, well, you'd probably be more like Denny to me. You'd probably pinch me down more than anything else.
If there was a wall there, yes, I would.
Mhm. Yep.
And Mason still is trying to finish the race.
He was having car problems last week.
Somebody's got to be the field filler. Well, before we officially throw the green flag on the show, I want to give a shout out to all the folks that watch and listen to our show. Thank you so much. It's been fun to do this show throughout the summer and get so many people checking on in. We want to thank Noah Madler in particular, who tuned into the last episode. So thank you, Noah. You've had a great season. Hope it continues on through the rest of the summer. And so, lineup is set. Let's officially start episode 19 with the waving of the green flag and get to who or what we are repping. Go ahead, John Breckle, start it off.
Okay, so as you guys can tell, we're very much in an orange type shirt mood tonight. So, with that being said, I am repping late model theme because guess what? It is a big weekend for late model racing in the local area, as well as last weekend, because there was a lot of big late model shows last weekend that happened around the state too, and a lot of really good late model racing that happened last weekend. So, I am repping a Dustin Strand 71 shirt. This is one of his shirts from a couple years ago because on the back, his cars, here, I'm going to put the computer screen up just a little bit. On the back of the shirt, you have his late model, and you also have the modified, and they were in purple.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
They had the purple paint scheme back then. He had some purple on the car. He also had a lot of some black on the car, some gray on the car back then, and he had both his mod and his late model on the back. So this must be from just a couple years ago, because last year Dustin kind of started the year with some purple in the car with black and gray, and then he went to the blue that he's kind of stuck with now the last couple of years. And honestly, the blue really pops with the fluorescent orange that he has on the car.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I have the gray and purple sweatshirt from that year. So,
Okay, okay. So
which
yeah,
I was
because I
actually
want to say this
repping.
is maybe like 23.
I think it's 2023. Yep. Because I was actually
Yep.
wearing that in Bemidji on Sunday and got a lot of compliments on it.
Nice. Because
Yeah.
obviously the Strand family, his dad Brian, is from Bemidji.
Yep. So, definitely a lot of roots up in the Bemidji area. Awesome shirt, John. Jessup, who or what are you repping?
I too am repping a orange late model shirt. I am repping a Bobby Pierce smooth operator shirt. And yeah, it's just a nice fun shirt, different color for me. So instead of it being like the racer orange, it's a nice peach orange color. So
And
it's
it's
a
got
little
his paint
different.
scheme on Jessup from I think was
He's
that
got the dream.
that's the dream one, right? Because the
Yep,
world is always in September.
the world is in September. Yeah,
Isn't
Yep.
there isn't there a huge one this week? It's the Prater Classic this week, right?
yep.
Yes, Fairbury's got the race this week. Yep.
Okay, I'm
And
like,
Bobby Pierce is the defending champion of the classic.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not, I'll admit I'm not well versed in national late model races. I confuse which one is which during the part of the year. So,
The
Yep.
USA Nationals is the week after.
Honestly, guys, I would actually really like to go down to Fairbury one of these years and experience that one because they kind of did a documentary. I don't know if you guys saw it on CBS Sports Network from last year's race. And it looks like a super cool track plus event because the track is basically a quarter mile, right? It's a high bank quarter mile that has a wall around the whole outside of it, and it's got pretty wide for turns. And the track itself is kind of in town. Like the town is not that big, but the track is located like right down a street from a housing development. So with that being said, you have like a close-knit community with the racetrack, which is really cool to see because some of those are where you get a lot of the fan interaction. And based on the documentary that was shown, that grandstands is very lively. That's not a very it's not one of those quiet, regular local grandstands maybe to where, people go, they kind of mind their own business. They enjoy the races and everything else. Nope, this one you definitely have favorite drivers. You and the people let you know who their favorite drivers are.
mhm.
So yeah, so that would be kind of a fun event I think to go attend.
I'd agree with that. And Fairbury is kind of like the perfect size for Jessup, especially on like the World of Outlaws game, because it gives him a wall to bounce off of continuously around the track.
Hold on, before you even start saying that like a bad thing, the person I am representing pounds the wall.
He
This is
does.
true. He does. He gets the car set up on the wall.
It is effective.
So I'm an effective driver, is what you're saying. Thank you, Mason.
Sure, we will go with that.
We will go with that.
Alrighty, I will finish off who or what we are repping. I have a new hat. This is of the Clausen Racing team, a retro-looking 47 on this hat with both Memphis and Malachi from up in Manitoba. And then for the shirt, I'm repping a new Zach Flickinger number 15F Wissota Street stock shirt. He is out of Madison, Minnesota. One with a bright orange shirt. I don't believe he's got a feature win yet on this season. He's been very close several times, but one of the fast drivers from the Montevideo, Madison area, and I believe he's going to be going back over to like the Little Dream that's going to be taking place in just over a week's time. He always loves going over there, and so hopefully he has a good run over there and a good end to his season. So that is who or what we're repping for episode 19, and then we will move right into the Hot Sauce Hot Memory Rewind and give a shout out to Isaac Hot Sauce Sondrol in the 12S IMCA Modified and the 104 Wissota Street Stock. I believe he pulled double duty on Friday and then raced the Modified on Saturday in Jamestown. So another busy weekend for Isaac. Got a little bit of break with farming, so he's going to be racing a little bit more until things pick up with that. Be sure to stay up to date on his racing, 12S Racing on Facebook. And if you see him in the pits or at the track, stop on over and say hi and check out the Sondrol Snack Shack for all sorts of fun, delicious goodies. And thank you, Isaac, for your support on the podcast. Jessup, I will start with you for your selections for this week's Hot Sauce Hot Memory Rewind.
Well, we're gonna see how this goes. I just picked 3 randomly, and they're all in order. So you can remember, folks, pick the year, the driver, and yeah. So let's go with this. Oh my God, there we go.
I've seen that car
Bet you
in
have.
person.
I don't know where to start with this one. Besides,
I
it's a
don't
super
remember.
stock.
Well, what do you
I
know?
don't
What
remember.
division is that?
That's
Well,
a super stock.
Very good, John.
Mason already said that.
Yes.
Very good, John.
Does this driver still race?
I don't think so.
Is it Dan Gullickson?
No. Mason, do you want to guess?
I don't know. I don't know how to
This
start on
is
this.
Jason Hovey?
Not a clue. I
I
don't
don't
recognize that.
I can't
I
read
don't think I know him.
Let's see. Jason, whatever that is.
Yeah, I'm Jason Hovey or Lovey, something like that.
Yeah, I don't think I know him.
All right, well, we'll go on to the next one.
Oh, double O again? I don't know it.
Told you. Made it too easy. You guys said I've been making it too easy. Now it's too hard.
I'm terrible with super stocks.
Yeah, Mason never saw them growing up, so he's like, Greek.
So you know how I feel when you do Minot and out western folk.
See, I try to do it like on the edge of like you may know this, but you had to think a little bit. These I have no idea.
Well, John, this is a South Dakota driver.
God, who would
Initials
it?
are AE.
AE. That's not helping me either. I'm not sure I know that one.
Andy Eswald. Eswald?
I
I don't think I
that
know
one
who
either.
that is.
Well, we'll go on to number 3. Da-da-da.
That's a Conrad.
Oh, we're on it.
I don't remember which Conrad though.
Is there like a Darren Conrad or something?
Is that Ron Conrad?
No. It's part of a hobby stock name.
Brock?
Type of
No.
car used in a hobby stock. Or or a street stock? Starts with an M. Monty Conrad.
Oh, like Monte Carlo.
I can only walk you into this so much.
Mason, you're like, oh,
What are cars?
Yeah, sorry. I was no help there, John.
I was no help on that one either. Jessup, you
Well,
kind of
here,
stumped us tonight. I'm actually impressed.
we'll try another one. It's going to be even harder. He is from the Wisconsin area, I'm assuming.
04.
One of his descendants probably still races. He races over. I don't know if this person races still, but their family members race in Cedar Lake and Red Cedar.
Is it a mater?
No, but they race modifieds.
It's an AOT.
Ah,
It's an AOT. I don't know.
yes.
I don't know anyone beyond the Nick or Adam.
This would be Kevin.
Okay.
I don't have anything easier.
Well, yes. Super stocks, I'm out to lunch.
Well, you did all right, Mason. You did all right.
You did, Mason. You got Monty.
Oh, here, Mason, you got a chance of this one.
I mean, it's like the least common number in all of racing.
This individual, last I checked, was racing up to last year. Might still be racing this year. Was the Proctor Fair Speedway president?
Come on, Mason. You should know that.
I should know that. It's such a great hint.
Well, maybe not. Oh, this might be a different one.
I
No,
saw the name on the back, which makes sense now.
I don't know. Lonnie. This should be Donnie.
So it's Donnie Lofdahl?
I've never heard of a
Jessup,
Lonnie Lofstall, but
Jessup, were these photos from like 2002?
2001.
Okay, I was gonna say
Superstar.
they look right around that 1 to 2 to 3 time frame.
Yep, that would be correct, John. That's all I got.
Mason, I finally found them on the Western Wanderer site. That's why I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure what year it was.
Gosh. I was wondering if you were looking that up at any point.
Well, I knew some of them like paint scheme wise, but I had no idea on drivers. So I know super stocks, but I know more of the South Dakota slash eastern side of North Dakota super stocks back in like that era because we would still run them in Jamestown. Fargo still had super stocks back then. Grand Forks was still running super stocks until the early 2000s, and so kind of knew some of the super stock drivers, but Devil's Lake was running super stocks still back then. So yeah, so I knew him a little bit, but I don't really know anybody on the Wisconsin side a whole lot because they would never really come over for the Western. It would be they would run the Wissota 100, and then the Western would be in Aberdeen more with the guys from South Dakota, Wyoming, North Dakota, and maybe the Western side of Minnesota more or less. So yeah. Okay, Mason, do you have any or am I next?
You can go next. I do have some though.
Okay. Okay, so I am sticking with, like I had mentioned earlier, late model theme. So I'm going to tell you guys what year these are from. These are from 2006,
Okay.
and you have to name the driver and the track.
And a chassis.
That is Jamestown for the track.
That
Looks
is
like
not
Johnson.
correct.
Oh, wait.
That is not correct for the
No,
track.
nope. I see the trees in the background. That's turn 3 and 4 Mandan.
Okay.
I want to guess Tim Perkins.
Yes, that is Tim Perkins.
Wow, that's a good guess. I never would have got that one.
He had a
So
brief
yeah,
stint
Mason,
in
you
the
were right
world.
on that. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Give me 1 second here, guys.
That is John's forehead. Track Dacotah Speedway, corner 3.
Jessup, you be quiet over
Both are incredibly dry slick.
That was pretty funny.
Uh,
Oh,
7X. Ooh,
first person I can think of is Jesse Glenn's.
that's not just.
there. No.
I'd say Scott Lane, but it's not him.
Mm. Okay, I'll give you guys a hint. This driver, he actually came to the Stampede for several years. He also came to the 100 for several years. Um, he is over from kind of the Montana, Wyoming area.
Vernon Hill?
No, I don't believe this driver races anymore.
When was the last time he raced?
It's been a while.
Well, then I'm probably not going to have a
Uh,
good guess on that one, John.
Okay,
I
this
don't
is
recognize the
DC
car.
Miller.
Nope.
Not a clue.
The reason why I always thought this car was very unique was because DC's number scheme is very, very close to Jody Olson's number scheme back when they both used to run late models,
I'm
and they
surprised you
would both
guys
show
aren't.
up at the same tracks, and it looked very similar.
I'm surprised you're not saying that's just a paint scheme.
So, well, I mean, it's
It's way
just a
too much
given at
color
this
for it to
point.
be a Jessup scheme.
And only that too, there's too much sponsors on the car to have a Jessup paint
No,
scheme.
I think that's right in the just a paint scheme.
And maybe on like the very fringe of Jessup
I would
scheme.
agree with
It
Mason. It's
is a
kind of
bit
on the
much,
fringe.
but that might be almost too much. But one ml. Oh,
Is that at Huron? Oh, what was the track on the second one?
Oh, that was, I believe, Black Hill Speedway.
I was
Okay.
gonna get that one.
Yep.
Is this at Huron?
This is Huron. This is Dakota State's Fair Speedway.
Oh, this is gotta be a 100 photo, isn't it?
I think so.
I want to say Wazaleski, but it's
Um,
not his car.
Mason, do you have a guess or do you know?
Looks
Before I
like
give
a
you guys a hint,
No, I feel like it's
Baker's
a
race
South
car.
Dakota car though.
it is a South Dakota car. It is a driver from South Dakota.
Not my guess. Number one from South Dakota.
Is it an Angles or
Okay, so I'm going to give you a hint. There's going to be two hints here. The driver is a very, very good bowler that has actually been inducted
Oh,
into the South Dakota State Hall of Fame.
that
And
doesn't.
also, the driver does a lot of shock work.
oh, Brian Deedy.
Yes, yes, it is. This is Brian Deedy.
That's a nice looking car. I like it.
I actually bowled Brian in Aberdeen this past year when we were down there for the tournament.
He is a very good bowler. I will agree with that.
Okay, now this one. This is going to be kind of a head scratcher. So just a heads up. I know the rest of them haven't been, but this one will be.
Hold on one second, John. I gotta pull up Western Wanderer.
Now, hang on.
I don't think you need to pull up Western Wanderer on
No,
this one.
no. Although
What track do you guys think it is?
the R on the back is throwing me off.
But what track do you guys think this is first?
That's Casino.
I was gonna
That
say,
is Casino Speedway, yep.
yeah, I would say that. That's a Jessup there. That's a Jessup paint scheme too. Look at that.
This is
That
way
would be
nicer than a
something.
Jessup paint scheme. This
No,
is
this
way
is
nicer.
right on par. This is what dirt track racing had.
This makes even weirder sense that you thought Dee Dee's all red car with not much to it was
Wild.
good.
Yes.
Scott Ward.
It is a Scott Ward car. It's not Scott Ward driving.
But I say, why is there an R behind the 37? It's like, I, is it like Troy Randall who drove it or something like that?
I'm going to give you a heads up. This driver still races today, has two cars
Scott.
down at Casino, does not run a late model regularly, runs a completely different class.
Two cars. All right, I'm out.
Does not run a late model regular, so he still races a late model on occasion? Is what you're saying?
No, he hasn't been in a late model for years. It's more in a Midwest mod.
Uh, t- Not Todd Stark. Shoot, I'm gonna kick myself on this.
I'm not. I got Casino and Scott Ward. Scott Ward's
Okay,
car. I'm pretty happy with myself.
it's a driver
Well,
that
that's
actually
usually
has
the thing.
already visited Victory Lane this year, and that's Terry Riley.
Really?
Shoot. Oh, dang it. Yeah.
Yeah, Terry was running one of Scott's cars down at
Bill,
Casino.
Bill
Your
Shea
two cars
Mason.
was throwing me off
The
because
R
he
on the
has two
back end
he
because
has
he's got
two
two
Midwest
Midwest
mods.
mods.
That's what that was throwing me off. That was a
Yep.
deceptive clue. Alrighty.
Okay,
Let's see if
those are
you
my
can
four. So
breeze.
see, we kind of did a little bit of a venture around the state.
Let's see if you can breeze through mine.
That's a car.
That's a number 14.
This is a Jessup approved scheme.
This is more than a Jessup Brewski. This is like full on Jessup with the flat tires and everything.
Gee, thanks, guys.
This is a North Dakota driver who still races today.
It's
It
one of the beaters.
is not one of the beaters. This driver is currently in a battle for national points.
Taylor
Is
Heaton.
it Gabe Deshaw?
Nope, wrong
Tyler.
sanctioning body.
Oh, wrong sanctioning body.
Same-ish
What?
number.
Let me guess. It's a Midwest mod guy.
Nope.
Tyler Peterson.
Nope. What's another good hint?
I don't know.
Besides just giving it straight away, I'll just say it. He's in the street stocks now.
Trey
One of the Browers?
No, it's a North Dakota driver, remember?
Trey Hess.
Yeah, that's correct, Jessup.
That's Trey Hess's car. Interesting.
Yep, I just digging in his Facebook. This is his first car.
Well, I don't think I ever would have got that.
Trey, I approve of your first car.
I'm sure you do.
What is that supposed to mean, Mason?
I'm sure you do. Next one.
17B, Bill Baylock.
This is Jenna Atkinson.
No. Good try.
Bailey
Reading
Cousins.
reading the names on the number, but that is not correct.
I don't know. Who?
This driver is a former national champion.
That's not Bailey Cousins.
It's Zach Benson.
There you go.
I could tell by the number design.
I don't
Yes.
know. I only saw B and I was like, I don't know.
All right. I got one more. It's got a couple people in this one. Oh, wait, hang on.
Well,
Hey, that's
let's see.
us.
This looks like when Jessup,
on.
decided to freeze his screen with two of him on it. He cloned himself.
That's pretty impressive that I can be on two positions at once.
We did this on a Sunday afternoon, I believe,
We
when the
did.
NASCAR race was going.
Because the NASCAR race is going.
That
Jokes
would
aside,
be Kyle Larson on the TV screen.
So that's Brennan Wade and Andy Wagner.
good job, John. I didn't
What track,
recognize the
John?
Brennan
What
Waite speed
track?
first.
I believe that is Fargo.
I think you're right on that.
I think that's Fargo.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize that Andy raced, I guess, Midwest Modifieds way back when
Well,
this.
kind of before IMCA Sport Mods kind of became a thing around the state.
Yeah.
In the East, it used to be all Midwest mods.
Yep. So there you have it. A very extensive hot sauce, hot memory rewind with a lot of stumping along the way.
This is true. We had a lot of stumpage.
Yes. So moving on into the track pack report, actually had quite a few races that we as a collective group hit up this last week. I actually kind of kicked it off on Wednesday, made a day trip down to the Sioux Falls area. I want to give a shout out to Cody Packey for letting me stay at his place so I could go to Huset's. It was the first of their 4-day Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, 4-day weekend as part of the Silver Dollar Nationals. And on Wednesday, they had the IMCA stock cars, which were ran with both IMCA stock cars and also a bevy of Wissota street stocks. And then also the Tri-State Late Model Series was taking place on that night too. Now, heading into the night, they had gotten a lot of rain the night before, and it was very overcast. So I was almost concerned that they weren't even going to race on Wednesday, but they did race, and the track had a lot of moisture in it. I'll just put it that way.
Oh, yes.
It was for hot laps, it was a muddy mess. But they got through the entire night, had quite a bit of carnage in both the late models and the stock cars, unfortunately. But overall, the racing was very fun to watch. Very fast-paced race, just a lot of cautions and a lot of crashes along the way. So just giving a quick shout out to the winners in the stock cars. It was a name we know, Kurt Lund, picking up the win. And fun fact, that was his not his first Huset Speedway win. His last win, I believe they said, was from 1993 in a sprint car, which I didn't realize.
Really?
I
Wow.
didn't realize either. Raced sprint cars.
He
Yeah,
did. He raced
he
sprints
did.
back in the day. He was a really good sprint car driver.
He raced that.
Yes. Yeah, so he did a great job. He actually started a little deeper in the pack and had to move around several really fast cars to get the win. So congratulations to Kurt Lund on the win there. And then in your tri-state late models, it looked like to be the Bill Layton show. He's out of Nebraska. He was running away with it until he kind of got caught up in lap traffic and actually wrecked out of the race, unfortunately. And so that had him to lead to Tad Pospisil. I believe that's how you pronounce his name, the 04. And he went on to get the win on Wednesday night. And so fun night down at Huset's. Late night getting home. I think I
Oh,
got
yeah.
home about 3:30, 3:45. So quick turnaround to Thursday, which the rest of the weekend started off. I was down at the Cheyenne Speedway, back behind the microphone, so got to announce another race down there. Good turnout of cars, and the track was in very, very good shape. Shout out to the track prep crew after last week where they had a lot of character in the track and very racy surface, smooth top to bottom, and you could race all over it. So very, very good job and turnaround. And nice to have a couple weeks straight for them to kind of build up some momentum with that track. And so winners go like this in your hobby stocks, which had several cautions in this race. But first career win for Bradley Stopworth in the 34, holding off a late charge from the 32 of Clay Genskow to get the win. And so congratulations to Bradley on the win. In your NX Legends, Ty Olson, who won on opening night at Cheyenne in 2025, grabbed his second feature to win, holding off Cody Mackhart and Regan Ranke in the 22 machine. Midwest Modified, Zach Ranke was out in front, holding a really good line, setting a steady pace until he blew the right rear with about 7, 8 laps to go. And unfortunately, Aaron Michael was kind of behind him with a head of steam, just nowhere to go. They collided, and unfortunately, that was the end of Zach's night. That handed lead over to the assassin Kyle Anderson in 59, and he would go on to get the feature win. I believe that it's his third feature win of the season. And so congratulations to Kyle Anderson, holding off Nate Ranke in the late race battle. Street Stocks went clean and green for their race. First time visitor to the Cheyenne Speedway for Colton Brower. He got out to the lead early, got about half-second lead, and then Cole Gresseth, who had won the previous week, started to track him down slowly. Got to about 3 laps to go, and Cole was looking for a different line as they were running the bottom. Pulled alongside him on the white flag, actually led that lap. And then they went side by side through 3 and 4. They both kind of drifted up the track a little bit, which kind of got Gresseth in the marbles. And Colton got the lead back and got the feature win. So congratulations to the 34J of Colton Brower. In your Gen X late models, another first crew win, 2 weeks in a row. This time, third generation driver Cade Skitland led the field to the checkered flag. Very, very good race for Cade. Very good job holding on to that car, too. He said his shift linkage broke, or shift lever broke, about halfway through the race. So that car was becoming a handful those last few laps. So he actually had to get towed into victory lane. So
Mm.
a little bit of a modified celebration, but nonetheless, congratulations to 75 of Cade Skitland. And Hornets went out to another fellow Mason out there with Mason Bogart claiming the feature win. So that was your action from Thursday night at the Cheyenne Speedway. Friday night action. Let's go to the Dacotah Speedway where they had their regular classes in attendance for the first time in several weeks since they had just had the Dakota Classic Modified Tour the previous week. So, Jessup, how did Friday night go over in Mandan?
It went well, Mason.
Good. That's like when
John?
people ask me how was the drive to the track, and I say uneventful, which is always a good thing if it's uneventful.
No, in a whole, the whole night was really good. Racing was good. Um, a lot of new winners, which is nice for our track because we get the reputation of being awfully stagnant with our winners, and you can pick between five guys in each class, and that'd be about it. But John, you can go into further detail. You have a little sharper mind for the details than I do.
Yes, I definitely have the sharper mind as I'm behind the mic most nights. Let's start the night though. So we had a really good field of cars in the pits. It was Hall of Fame night. It was also a Knife River Corporation night. We had 106 cars that checked in on Friday, so a really good field of cars. We started the night with 15 slingshots. The slingshots were fast, fierce, and they put on a show. And it was a really good battle up front between some of our youngsters like Landon Hallgren, as well as Caden Davenport. The Keller sisters. Keller sisters are getting more seat time. They're getting faster. Jager Mullen was right up there as well. And then we had Landon Hallgren ended up in victory lane, picked up another feature win. He's been kind of on a tear lately in that 22 machine. So congratulations to Landon on a big win on Friday night. Then we move on to your Dacotah Speedway hobby stocks. Hobby stocks had a nice field of cars as well. They had, I believe it was 20 entries that checked in on Friday night. And it was a really good battle up front between some veterans and some hot shoes that are kind of rookies that are getting their feet wet that are making a name for themselves already in the class. And it was the Wishick drivers that were kind of battling for the win, right? You had Riker Vetter up there, you had Brody Michelson up there, and then you had the Hazelton driver of Derek Appard, who just picked up the championship for the Vetter tour for the hobby stocks. And Derek kind of got the lead. And then Brody Michelson got around him with only a few laps remaining. And Brody picked up his first career Dacotah Speedway win, which he went back to back now because the week before he picked up a win in Jamestown for his first win in Jamestown. And then on Friday, he picked up his first win in Mandan the next week. So congratulations to Brody for picking up that win in your hobby stock division. In your legends, it was kind of a battle up front between the Mather brothers, along with Preston Martin, and the guy that had led a lot of that feature was Ryan Erdahl. Erdahl got out to an early lead on the high side, kind of was walking away from people, and then we had a kind of a caution halfway through, and the Mather brothers on the bottom put together a race between Noah and Gage. Gage got around him, and Gage picked up the win on Friday night. So good win again for Gage. The Mather brothers have been really hard to beat so far this year, and we'll see if they can keep the momentum going into the year-end specials as well as nationals when it comes up in October in Nodak at the Minot Fairgrounds, the North Dakota State Fairgrounds in Minot. Do you like how I covered that up? So
Good job.
next up, the IMCA stock cars, and we had 16 IMCA stock cars check in on Friday night, and Sean Strand brought his stock car out. He hasn't been running the stock car a bunch this year. He's been running more of the mod and kind of jumped off to the early lead in the stock car division. But the driver that I was really watching during that race was Jason Meidinger because Jason started 13th in the feature event, and we had a caution with about 4 laps in, and he had moved his way up to 7th already. So he had kind of worked his way through the field. And on the restart, he quickly moved his way into the top 5 and slowly but surely worked his way up to the battle with Sean. They were side by side with 5 to go. With 4 to go, Jason took the lead, lost the lead actually in 3 and 4 as he kind of slipped up a little bit, got it back as he calmed himself back down and picked up his first ever feature win in the IMCA stock car division. He had been really close in the streets for many, many years and finally picked up that win in the stock car. So congratulations to Jason in victory lane. Kind of a very much grandstand approved win as well within the grandstands because there was a lot of cheering that happened for Jason that night during that feature win. Then we move into your modifieds, and it maybe looked like a first-time winner in your modifieds too. Elijah Puckett got out to the lead, and he stretched it out over the field until he kind of got into lap traffic, and then that allowed the likes of Jeremy Keller to start closing in, Marcus Tomlinson to start closing in, and Jeremy got around Elijah with just a few laps remaining. They had a caution with about 5 to go. Jeremy stretched it out in the restart. Marcus got to second, and it was Jeremy Keller who extended his points lead farther because he's had a very nice season so far in Mandan and ended up picking up the feature win on Friday night. So good night overall in Mandan. Track was racy. There was quite a few people in the grandstands as it was Hall of Fame night. So we announced our class for 2025 for the Hall of Fame that'll be inducted at the banquet upcoming here in the fall. And overall, it was just a good night, good regular night, kind of a good stretch to get into the North Dakota Governors Cup this weekend over in Mandan.
Excellent. Nice to have a good night going in Mandan and kick off the weekend over there. My Friday was adventurous to say the least because I was initially on my way to Montevideo for racing
Oh,
action.
oh, tell us what happened.
Well, I got well over halfway there and looked at the
Oh,
sky and the radar,
oh,
and I was like,
where
I
was
don't,
this going?
it's like, I don't think this race night is going to get completed. So I
Uh,
elected to turn around.
Mason, thinking out loud on this really quick, and Justin, I think you'd kind of agree with me. He didn't really tell anybody his schedule earlier this week, right? He just kind of would post where he was going, except he didn't post that he was going to Monty
Hmm.
that day. Montevideo fans, I am so sorry
Well, John, I can
because
tell you what
Mason was on
happened.
the way and he brought the weather right with him.
I can tell you what happened here, John. Initially, Mason was going to go to Monty, and then it rained out, or he chose to go to another track because of his powers being out of control. So then he won't admit to this, but I'm pretty sure this is 99% factual. He was going to go to River Cities. And then, yeah, you shake your head. See, deny it. Like I said, you would deny it. Then that track rained out. And then where'd you end up, Mason?
So, technically speaking, River Cities had already made the call to cancel earlier in the afternoon. So that
Yeah,
eliminated
well,
that option anyway.
you had intent.
No, I
That
was
was your backup plan.
my backup plan was West Fargo.
Yep, see, you were going to rain out two tracks and then go to your backup plan of West Fargo.
I
Has
was
he no
not planning
shame,
on going
John?
to River Cities.
Has he no shame?
Well, because initially this ties into Friday as well, because River Cities was supposed to have King in the Wings, part of a 4-day weekend for sprint cars, Lightning Sprints, 305s, and 410s. So Friday they were all supposed to be in Grand Forks, and I believe the Renegades were also supposed to be there as well.
That is correct. Yep.
So they had gotten a bunch of rain in the morning, and so they were trying to like see if they could work the pits and work the track in. And I think by like 1 or 2 o'clock, they made the call. It's like, hey, it's not coming together, so we're gonna have to cancel. So during that time, I was still planning to go to Montevideo, but there was some things in the works for the 410 sprint cars, and they actually got added to the program at Red River Valley Speedway that night, who were hosting the NLRA late models as well. So they got added in pretty much at like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and so that was a fun little addition to their program. And so being that I turned around from on a video, I'm like, well, I'll probably make it back in time for the features. I pulled into the track just a little before 9, and they were just getting the last class of heat races out onto the track. So got all the feature racing action in at River Valley Speedway. So they had the regular classes minus their 305s for the Friday night, and then NRA late models and the NOSA slash Midwest Sprint Tour Sprint Series. Here's
Slack.
your results. Oh, go ahead.
You probably could have thrown a few 305s out there.
Yeah, I think there were a couple of 305 sprint cars that did participate.
They did. They joined the field for the 410s. A few of them.
Yes. Yeah, because it wasn't officially a sanctioned show. It was just quickly like kind of put together. So alrighty, Sport Mods kicked off the night. It was Scott Jacobson leading the way. Looked to have that race well in control, and I don't know exactly what broke, but as Brennan Urbach in the 33 was catching him, he broke going into turn one. So that unfortunately ended the night for Scott Jacobson on the hook. Brennan Urbach took the lead from there and never looked back. So Brennan Urbach picked up the win in your IMSA Sport Mods. In your NX Legends, a guy that was planning a race in Grand Forks that night in his 305, Ty Wilkie, got to lead pretty quickly in that race. survived several cautions and restarts, and holding out the likes of Sean Johnson and Cody Macart, he grabbed the feature win in the NX Legends. Then they put the Wissota late models third on the program. And they had 27 late models in attendance, so very, very strong field and a lot of heavy hitters, several that are going to be competing for national points, such as Tyler Peterson, Dustin Strand, Chad Becker came up from Aberdeen. And so early on, I believe Dustin started outside row 2 or 3. He got to lead pretty quickly. I had to track down Shane Edgerton to start with, and then they were kind of like riding the rail, riding down next to the tires, all over the track. And Tyler Peterson, who had trouble in his heat race, started 17th on the field, was making a quick charge to the front. And through a couple series of cautions, sliders, crossovers, and everything like that, Tyler Peterson came out on top of that battle. Great, great race to watch. If you haven't seen the highlights of that, be sure to check it out. Really, really good race in your late models. And so he held off Dustin Strand for the win there. Then your sprint cars came out onto the track and pretty clean race up front. Weston Olson was battling hard with Mark Dobmeyer for the majority of that race. Mark was kind of within a car length or two, and then he actually broke and went straight off of turn one. Didn't roll over, thankfully, but that ended the night for the 13 machine. And Weston Olson went off from there, and he would get the feature win on Friday night in West Fargo. IMCA Hobby Stocks, another great race. Had a little bit of contact. We had between your leaders, it was Brody Eckert battling hard with Tim Church. I believe the two made contact, which ended up spinning Tim Church around. Eckert had to go to the back of the field. And then Tim had to hold off a late charge from the 0-1 and Nathan Cole, who were dead heat at the white flag. They had a caution in turn 1 and 2, and everybody had taken the white. So then they went back to the white flag lap, which handed the win over to the 21 of Tim Church. So congratulations to Tim Church on the win there. Modifieds. IMCA Modifieds started off a little rocky for Jesse Sklicki as he got spun around on the first lap and had to go tail end Charlie. However, he got all the way back up to the front by the end. And he was one of the few cars that were riding the bottom side of the track. Everyone else is kind of railing the top side. One of our sponsors, Tyler Hall, making a great run on the top side, was battling hard with Josh Anderson and the Seekerson boys. He really, really good race up front, but Jesse Sklicki, using the bottom, got around Josh Anderson late to get the feature win from all the way from the back of the field at the beginning. So great race for Jesse Sklicki. And then your IMCA stock cars to finish out the night. It was the Rick Schultz show out front until we had a rollover. Andrew Yoakum in the 21 went over a few times in turns 1 and 2. He was thankfully okay. Unfortunately, on that restart, it was clear that I don't think Rick Schultz's race receiver was working because he was still warming up his tires going through 3 and 4, and they had seen the 1 to go sign. So the green flag came out, and everyone went except Rick Schultz. So handed the lead over to Calvin Kesselberg, who was also making up ground on the bottom, one of the few cars to be able to do that. So he would go on to get the feature win in front of one of our other sponsors, the B1 of Brody Carlsrud. So busy night. We got done a little after midnight. So a lot of racing action, but it was a really good night of racing. You could fun action to watch there in West Fargo on Friday night. So Saturday, should we stay at Red River Valley to start with?
Yeah, let's stay at that one first, and then I'll do my recap.
Alrighty, Jessup, what did you do, or what did you think of Saturday at the Red River Valley Speedway? Because you came over and decided to visit me.
It was a very healthy field of sprint cars throughout the night. I think they had, what did they have? 31, 32, 410, NOSA,
32.
MSTS sprints, and they had some really good names in the field. Jack Dover, Mark Dobmeyer, Brooke Tapnell, so a lot of the more Midwest bigger name guys. Then they had Timez, who junked his car on Thursday in hot laps and got it completely put back together. And Timez is Thomas Meserol, the USAC legend, I guess you could say, former USAC competitor. And that was a really fun field of guys to see race. IMCA 305 Race Savers had a really good, healthy field of drivers and some bigger name drivers for their field. And then the Race Savers had a pretty normal, pretty nice night of sprints for them as well. format was a little different. I'm not really sure how the MSTS runs their format. They didn't do qualifying, so they just draw, and I don't know how they did their dash. There's draw to B main dash, and then feature. But yeah, I don't know how they did their dash. I think top two, maybe.
I think top two from each heat. Yeah.
It might have been that simple, but um, yeah, good dash, good everything. Oddly, I don't think we flipped a sprint car besides the one that smoked the wall.
Yep. Just besides the lightning sprint, no one else flipped in the 305s or 410s.
Yep. And yeah, Mason, you want to get into the discussion? And then I'll throw
Yep.
tidbits here and there.
Yep, so lightning sprints kicked off feature action. They had 15 lightning sprints on hand. Uh, Started out with Emmett Isane leading the way until we had that wreck and red flag with Mark Williams. I saw a video afterwards. He got turned, basically went like head on into the wall and rolled over. Got out of the car with some assistance. He was okay, recovering pretty well from the last I checked. And so then on the restart, the 18 of Masani was still leading, but then Matthew Taves made the move on the restart, and he would go on to get the feature win. So Matt Taves, very, very young driver, very quick too. So he grabs the big win in the lightning sprints.
That was a scary wreck.
It was because all most of us heard was a bang, and it's like, what just happened?
The car never really rolled. It never flipped or it never careened against the wall. It was just almost like a Dale Earnhardt type of wreck
Yeah, yeah,
because
it
it,
just like came to a sudden stop.
yep. And that was a little nerve wracking for a bit because you don't really see people get out of the cars under their power on those type of wrecks. So it was
Yeah,
good to see uh, Mark walk out and get out. And yeah, cars can
one.
be replaced.
Yep, and he's an older gentleman too, so definitely good to see him get out of the car. After that was your IMC race saver sprints, like Jess had mentioned, great field, 26 race saver sprints. They started them all, so um, I was like, all right, we're starting them all, but overall they had a really, really good race. A lot of lap traffic for the leaders to deal with later on, as it turned to a battle with Monty Ferreira in the 45. Lee Goes Jr. was another big name that came up for the weekend, and Trevor Service, who's always been a really fast race saver sprint. The groove for the race savers was mainly around the bottom, but Service was making the top side work, especially when they got to lap traffic. And that's where he kind of made the move to get the lead late in the race, but then lost the lead a couple laps later as he slid too high off the bottom and didn't quite get the high side line. And he actually lost first and second in that move. So that
Yeah,
handed the win over to the 45, Amonte Ferreira from Lincoln, Nebraska.
yeah, that was a good field. If you look at their top 10, um, really no questionable cars there. I mean, outside of Amelia, the next highest finisher really would from our area would have been like Ty Hampton
Mhm.
and no, really good names. A couple Nebraska guys. You had Timez in there from going +9 to finish fourth, and Lee, Trevor, and Monty are all, and Cole. Cole did pretty good holding his own out there as well. So Brady Donahue had an well, I was going to say an off night, but it looks like he went +7, so he really didn't have that off of a night.
Right. For me, I was expecting to be up towards the front, but yeah, starting 14th, it's like in a deep field too.
Yeah, it was again nothing to shake your head at. It was good racing, really clean racing for the most part. From what I will say, this I didn't hear a lot of complaining or arguments in the pits.
No, this is completely different from the last time Jessup went and I went to an all sprint show, I think, which was an 8 hour. We heard plenty of discussions afterwards.
Mason, I think the last two times we went to a sprint car show, we've heard people swearing, cussing, and I think Gio threw his helmet
Yep.
across his trailer and screamed the F bomb at the top of his lungs while everybody watched on. I think he finished like second or third.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a good it was good for the 305. So I was pretty happy. They seem to run very well over at Red River.
They do. Yes. And I like that the class is growing even more and getting some really solid drivers, and they're actually getting consistently a couple of travelers each week for their weekly shows too, which is also really good to see.
Mhm.
Yep, yep.
And then the MSTS and NOSA Sprint Series took to the track after that. 32 total cars, started 24. Pretty much it was the Andy Pig show, and he's got Red River Valley Speedway figured out. He does very well when the World of Outlaws show up, and he got the pole by winning the dash, and so
Yeah.
pretty much it was going to be tough to beat him based off of that. And they were mainly running the top side in the 410 A main. Jack Dover was kind of within reasonable distance in case Andy would make a mistake because the cushion in one, like, or the top of one and two was very razor thin in particular. Three
I
and
don't
four,
think there I don't think there was one there.
no, they're probably because there's several
Because
cars that pushed it off.
I know in the closing laps, it was like the last five, you would just watch everyone blow off the top, catch some sort of traction a car width or half a car width over the crest of the hill, and then they catch and go again. No, one and two were not nice corners.
It was the same way on Friday night too, because there's a lot of drivers that blew it off the top of one and two.
I wonder what that's from. Is it from just getting pounded from the sun all day?
Could be. Yeah, it seems like one and two is always kind of a tough corner. Even in the other classes, that's usually the corner that people just push too hard through one. And yeah, I don't know if it's the shape of the corner or what it might be. But Andy Pake gets the win in front of the 53 of Jack Dover, who's racing for Essenson Motorsports. Tim Essenson, one of the drivers we know from our area. And Weston Olson was your third place finisher. Good run for Jack Croker, moving 14th up to fourth. So good,
You
pretty
know who
good
had a you know who
race
had a
there.
really good run? Alex Trashinsky impressed me. I thought he had a good night.
Yeah, because he's still pretty
Pretty
young when it comes to
green.
410.
Yep,
Yeah.
pretty green. He finished right behind Mark Dobmeyer, and he finished seventh. So I think that's a good night for him. Weston Olson, I don't know much about Weston. He's pretty new to my radar for sprint cars. Didn't he just start like a year or two ago with the NOSA guys?
I think this is a second or third year.
So he's pretty new too. So he said he found something over the last week, and
Yes, he has.
he's definitely making some strides.
Yeah, I'm glad you made the trip over. It was fun to have you over in my neck of the woods for once.
I want all the Red River race fans to thank me. Captain America had to take down Monsoon Mason and Hurricane Kayla, just like I did last year at Wishick.
It still blows my mind that she showed up to an all sprint car show.
I was I was pleasantly amused that we all showed up to a sprint car show of all things.
Yep.
But we had a
Indeed.
good time.
We had a great time.
Now, John, tell me about the sprint car racing over at the Jamestown Speedway.
Yeah, so for me on Saturday night, I was over in Jamestown announcing as we had gorgeous weather. Weather was really nice throughout the night, and it was a full night of racing action because we ended up with 20 Western Renegade non-wing sprint cars. Really, really happy with that number of cars in that field. So it was their second ever appearance in Jamestown. and they put on a really good show. There was a lot of side-by-side action within the track. They used a lot of the bottom and middle part of the Jamestown Speedway. I was really surprised because nobody really ventured to the top to try to use the top because the lip was there and nobody really ventured to the lip. But besides that, it was a really good field of drivers too because we had some of the Northern Renegades over, we had a lot of the Western Renegades over, and it was just a good show overall. It was Miles Tomlinson though that ended up winning, and guys, he won by 9 seconds.
Oops.
They went clean and green, and he won by 9 seconds.
Wow.
He lapped up to ninth. Yeah, so he was
Dang.
gone. He was just completely gone. The battle behind him was really good though, between Ron, Eric Guyot, Jeremy Lizakowski, as well as let me see who else was in that battle back there too. Chris Lewis was in that battle back there. So
Oh.
pretty good mix of drivers kind of in that battle. And it was Guyot and Ken Ron that were going back and forth. Guyot had passed him earlier. By the way, Guyot's car is, he wrecked his car pretty bad here. Just about a month ago-ish time frame, maybe not even that long ago. So he's got another car back out. It's mostly red and it's got white on the back end of it. It is a scheme. It is a pretty nice scheme, but it definitely looks a little bit different than his traditional kind of red, white, and blue that he
Mhm.
does. There's not a whole lot of blue on the car. But yeah, so Eric was in second for quite some time, and then Ken Ron worked the bottom and got around him and picked up second. And Ken actually drew the 100 as he came into the gate. So yeah, but yeah, no, he drew the back of the field and had to work his way to the front. So but no, but for Ken, Ken was back-to-back runner-up finishes. It was a good show overall. The drivers enjoyed it. Fans enjoyed it. We had a very nice attendance in the grandstands too. It was a pretty full grandstands on Saturday night, which was kind of cool to see. And to Jessup's credit, we had a lot of cars. So Jamestown ended up with 20 Western Renegade non-wing sprint cars. That was their special class for the night. But overall, there was 131 cars in the pits. It was a lot of cars in the pits, and we ended the show at right around 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
So
we were kind of keeping track just in case Jessup could sneak over and catch one last race, but not meant to be.
Nope.
no, it was pretty good overall. So this is how they ran the night. So the night started with the bomber division. And I have to give kudos to the bomber drivers because the bombers are always a great class to get people into racing. And going through and actually, kind of developing skills and get them into a Midwest mod or get them into a street stock or an IMCA stock car and get them into an IMCA modified and then eventually maybe into the late models. And Jamestown had 26 bombers on Saturday night. And out of those 26 bombers, maybe a couple travelers, a lot of locals.
Hmm.
So their bomber car count this year in Jamestown alone, I've kind of done averages on it. They've been averaging right between 22 to 24 a night. That's a really good field of cars.
Hmm.
So super good field of cars. And that's not even with all the drivers that we know that have cars even out there, racing. So that's good news for, future growth into other classes. Bombers had one caution throughout the night, and they started all 26. And it was Joe Jacobson, who was runner up last week, and he was gone this week. Joe was at one point ahead by 3 seconds and ended up picking up the win in that feature event. Matt Gumke, we don't really see Matt a whole lot in the bomber division. Crip Nelson has been running the 4T machine this year. Crip was out of town on a camping retreat for one of his school programs that he's in. And so Matt got the car, ran the car for the night, and did quite well. He was runner up throughout the night. And then behind him, it was a really close battle between the likes of Eric Bush, Travis Ettinger. Both Horners were in that battle, as well as Cade Getzka. So, and right now, and I'm going to do a post here a little bit later on because I do a lot of the Jamestown Speedway Facebook page stuff too, and help out with a lot of the stuff that goes on the Facebook page. But if you look at JamestownSpeedway.com, points are updated on there through Saturday night. Right now, guys, in your bomber division, it is Kelly Horner and Travis Ettinger tied for the points lead, and Carly Horner is 1 point back in third.
Oh, it's a good battle.
That's the points battles right now in your bomber division. So pretty close up top in your bombers. So they ran the Western Renegades second. So the Western Renegades were right after the bombers. Then after that, they ran the Wissota Midwest Modifieds, and the Wissota Midwest Modifieds went clean and green. They never had one caution in that race either. And it was the 59 of Kyle Anderson, who was ahead at one point by 4 seconds over the field. And at the end of the race, it was about 2.5 seconds, but the battle was on behind him between Jared Klein as well as Aaron Michael. And then you go back to fourth and fifth place battles between Zach Ranke, Jared Wimstead, Jason Grimes had his car out, the Midwest Modified. First time he's been in Jamestown this year with that. And it was a great run up front for Kyle. And Jared Klein and Aaron Michael, they definitely put on a battle for second. Aaron was on the high side, Jarrett was on the bottom and in the middle, and Jared passed him. Definitely came on as the race kept going. Jarrett did, and Jarrett cut Kyle's lead from 4 seconds down to about 2.5, within the matter of about 5 laps. So I'd have been very curious to see what would have happened, if we would have had a caution, or even if the race would have been maybe another 5 to 10 laps, because Jarrett was definitely coming. His car's definitely been. We were talking about that in Victory Lane. His car's definitely better as it gets on the longer runs this year.
Mm-hmm.
So great job to Midwest Modified drivers. We had 16 of them in attendance. They went clean and green. Next up after them was the NX Legends, and Legends were the only one that really had caution trouble throughout the night in their feature event. They had a total of 24 Legend drivers that showed up, and it was the Mather brothers that started deeper in the field, and it was the driver who came through the pit shack and drew a 1. I was in there when he drew the 1, and that was Preston Martin. Preston drew the 1 for the night. So Preston kind of had a flawless night in Jamestown. Ended up picking up the win in his heat and ended up picking the win in the feature. The Legends had some really good battles in the heat races, though. A lot of three wide racing. There's one heat out there, and actually it's on the 006 page for Dustin and Weston Hagen's page. If you guys watch, they were both in the same heat. They were in heat 3, and they have the video on there from that heat race. And first through third were three wide for almost that whole heat race, and fourth through sixth were three wide for almost that whole heat race. So you had the battle up front here, and then you had the next battle here, and they were three wide pretty much the whole time around. So a lot of three wide racing in your Legends on Saturday night, but it was Preston that picked up the win, Gage Mather that picked up second. Noah Mather had some problems actually. He lost the hood on a restart. Like it blocked his vision. It came right up in front of him and had to pull into the infield, and was done for the night. But your points leader is Andy Bargman, and Andrew Bargman did really good. He started deeper in the field again and picked up a top 3 again. So he's just racking up the points. He's ahead by about 70 some points right now over Jamestown in your Legends. Then we move into your Wissota Street Stocks, and it was a 3 wide battle up front for the first 5 laps of that feature race between Dustin Erickson, Billy Christ, and Cole Gresseth. And as you guys know, Cole has been on a tear this year. Cole got the lead early in that race. They were also clean and green in your streets, and Cole stretched it out to about 2 seconds over a great battle between Billy and Dustin in second. Dustin was more bottom to middle groove. Billy was on the high side, and they were throwing it back and forth at each other with Billy picking up second, Dustin in third. Behind them, though, the battle was really good from fourth through about eighth. They were 3 wide for multiple laps back there, back to back to back to back laps, and a lot of shuffling from about fourth to about eighth. And in that battle was the likes of Mike Mund and KCU Status, as well as Jody Michelson was in that battle. Chris Ritter was in the middle of that battle. So some really good drivers back there in that battle as well that stayed clean and green. And we had a good night for your Wissota Street Stocks with Cole picking up his 15th win of the year. And then we moved into your final class of the night with your IMCA Modifieds. And in your IMCA Modified division, we had 20 IMCA Modified drivers that showed up. We had 17 Wissota Street Stock drivers. And in your IMCA Modifieds, it was a battle up front between Scotty Gardner, as Scotty got the lead really early in that race. He started second row or third row in that race and got the lead pretty early on. He had to hold off the likes of John Nord, Ron Correll, and the driver that was making the bottom work for plenty of time in the beginning of that race, Marcus Tomlinson. Marcus started 11th, so really deep in that race, and he got up to the top 2 in the first 5 laps. And then he had to battle the likes of John Nord, John Correll, Travis Tooley was in that mix, Andy Cap was in that mix for several laps before it was Marcus that ended up getting second, and Scotty Gardner picked up his first win of the year over in Jamestown. He's had some bad luck this year, and he looked good last week, and then broke a drive shaft. This week he looked really good and picked up the win in your IMC modifieds in that zero machine. Real on the high side. Scotty's really good on the high side in Jamestown. I forgot your slingshots. Your slingshot division had 8 of them, and it was a battle up front between Easton Olson as well as the 29 of Caden Davenport. Davenport broke and ended up in the infield after Easton Olson got around him. Easton picked up another win over in Jamestown, his second of the year in Jamestown, third overall. And Easton now is your new points leader by only 2 points over Caden Davenport in your slingshots in Jamestown. So pretty close points battle there too. Overall, though, track was in good shape throughout the night. It was a dry, slick surface from top to bottom by the end of the night to where the drivers could run pretty much anywhere within the track. There was traction in the middle of each one of the turns as well, and they had the bottom side there. Also in Jamestown, a lot of very clean racing, very clean night overall. A few wrecks in your legends, but besides that, everything else was pretty much clean and green for Jamestown and just a good night overall.
Excellent. And they get a little break this for the next week before they get geared up for another big weekend over in Jamestown coming up. My last night of the weekend was over at Bemidji Speedway. Just cruised on up for a regular night of racing. They had their regular divisions in attendance minus their modifieds, and the street stocks took their place for the night. Started off with a great photo finish in your Wissota Pure Stocks between a guy that's a former national champion and it's only raced a couple times this year, Josh Berg and Dustin Puffy. They had a great battle to the finish. Those two are really good buddies, and it was Dustin Puffy edging out Josh Berg for the feature win in the Pure Stocks. So great way to kick off feature action there. Mini stocks, kind of one of their like entry level classes up in Bemidji. The kind of one of the guys to beat up there is Conrad Schwinn. He kind of got out to the lead and kind of survived all the chaos that was taking place behind him, because they had several cautions in that feature race. But another feature win for the number 6 of Conrad Schwinn. In your Midwest Modifieds, it was Michael Blevins Sr., any host of Blevins that I always confuse one over the other. But he looked very fast in his heat, started a little deeper in the field, got to the lead, and pretty much checked out on the rest of the field. So he grabbed the feature win in the Wissota Midwest Modifieds. In your Hornets, another basically photo finish, as there was a great battle up front between Adam Kessler, I believe, who was going for his first feature win. He was trying to hold off the lights of national point contender Russell Kiker Jr. from Brainerd. And the last couple laps, I feel like the nerves might have been getting to Adam as he was kind of slipping up in 3 and 4. And on the last lap, Russ got beside him and won the drag race to the finish line. So Russell Kiker Jr. gets a big key win for that national point hunt. Speaking of national point hunt, a couple of your guys that are battling for national points in the street stocks, Colton Brower was up in Bemidji, as well as Trey Hess. They both started deeper in the field for their feature, as initially it was Weston Ramsey kind of leading the charge. Had a few cautions kind of shuffle the running order, and slowly but surely Colton Brower was kind of picking off one car at a time after each restart, or a couple cars. And eventually he got to the lead. Scotty Messer kind of tried to follow suit, couldn't quite make a move on him, and so Colton Brower gets another feature win on the season. I believe he's up to 26 feature wins on the season now. So looking pretty solid in that 34J. Mod 4s went clean and green, and first feature win for this young man in the Mod 4s, Dawson Ulrich, out of Bemidji in the number 4 machine. Held off a hard-charging Ashton Schwinn, who got to second, but by that time it was about 3 seconds behind, and he had cut the lead down almost in half, within 4 laps. So it would have been interesting to see if they had a few more laps what would happen. But congrats to Dawson on his first feature win in that class. And then Supers finished out the night with some carnage. Had a major wreck with about 5 laps to go with, I believe it was Brandon Barr who was leading that race. And on a restart, just things kind of got chaotic. And we ended up with 2 of them going off on the hook and another couple cars damaged. And Dalton Carson kind of emerged from the chaos and grabbed a feature win in the Wissota Super Stocks to finish out the night at Bemidji, which they moved through that program pretty dang quick. They start at 5. We were done by about 8:30, and it was nice to get a good portion of the drive back home in the daylight, because that can be a sketchy drive. So that is your track packer report for this weekend. Very hefty track packer report. And we'll move on to what's upcoming next. First, in the state of North Dakota with Mr. Dakota Dirt.
Did you know, race fans, right? if you want to check your one-stop shop for everything with schedules, with results, with links to MRP as well as websites, and maybe an article in the near future. And also weather forecasts. You can check out Dakota Dirt. They are on social media platforms, but check out their website first, dakotadirt.org.
Thank you, John. It's going to be a busy weekend here for us, at least. Let's kick it off on Thursday with the Sheyenne Speedway having what looks to be pretty much a normal night of racing for them. Wissota Streets, Wissota Midwest Mods, Gen X late models, NX Legends, Hobby Stocks, and the Short Trackers. Friday, things heat up as we'll just kick it with the Dacotah Speedway. Night one of the Gov Cup weekend. It is Wissota late models, IMCA modifieds, IMCA stock cars, NX Legends, Hobby Stocks, and Slingshots. And all of those classes will be racing as well on Saturday. The Red River Valley Speedway hosts the Sanders Stock Car Challenge and the IMCA Hobby Stock Challenge. Special, I guess. IMCA Mods, IMCA Stock Cars, IMCA 305s, IMCA Sport Mods, and Hobbies and NX Legends. River Cities has what looks to be a normal night of racing for them as well. No sprints, Wissota Streets, Wissota Mid Mods, Wissota Late Models, and a special appearance of the Wissota Modifieds. Williston Basin will be racing as well. Midsummer doubleheader. They have IMCA Mods, IMCA Stock Cars, IMCA Sport Mods, Hobby Stocks, and Slingshots. So plenty of places to race this weekend for those guys. Saturday, you have night two of the Dacotah Speedway ND Governors Cup weekend. All the classes, as mentioned before, Wissota late models, IMCA mods, IMCA stock cars, NX Legends, Hobby Stocks, and Slingshots. Night two as well up in Williston Basin for their midsummer doubleheader. And the Devil's Lake Speedway is having their Midwest Mod Golden Hammer Classic 3,000 to win evening with non-wing sprints, Wissota Mid Mods, Wissota Streets, and their Pure Stock division. 27th is looking like McLean County Speedway is hosting their championship night with IMCA Stock Cars, IMCA Sport Mods, IMCA Hobbies, IMCA Sport Compacts, the Western Renegades. And then Tri-County is racing as well with a full night of classes, including Wissota Mid Mods, Wissota Streets, NX Legends, and Hobby Stocks as well. That wraps up this week for what our area is going to have.
So a lot of big racings happening in the state of North Dakota. There's a lot of big racings happening outside the state of North Dakota. While I got it queued up on my side, one of the big races taking place over in Minnesota is the Big Deal. So it's 25,000 to win Midwest Modifieds and 125,000 to win for Modifieds. And it's going to be, I know there's several travelers from our neck of the woods that are going to be making their way over there. So it'll be fun to see how they do. Starts with a practice night on the 24th of July, which is on the Thursday. And then qualifying night on Friday. It's kind of, the layout is a little bit funky. So just kind of give you the cliff notes of it. Qualifying night on Friday, and then it's alphabet soup on that Saturday for the finale. So that's the big race over at the Ogilvie Raceway for those 3 nights. So I'll go from the Thursday, the 24th, where there's actually a lot of races going on. So we got the Renegade Speedway in Canby, Minnesota. Their one race that they do a year at the Yellow Medicine County Fair. That's racing. We have Grand Rapids with the KME Late Model Series. KRA Speedway once again. Norman County Raceway has the Sanders Stock Car Challenge portion over there that night. And then Victory Lane Speedway Racing and Red Cedar Speedway has a doubleheader. It's their fair weekend. So they have 2 straight nights of racing, Thursday and Friday. That's always a fun time. You always get to see some fun characters over there that weekend. Friday the 25th, first of two nights over at the Brown County Speedway for the Tri-State Late Models Series, as well as the Dirt Race Central Street Stock Tour. And they also have Midwest Modifieds on the Friday portion of the program. So, kind of a nice little special event for their Dakota Rumble down in Aberdeen, South Dakota. Fiesta City Speedway is having a Pure Stock and Hornet special. Mentioned Ogilvy, mentioned Red Cedar. Those are your races on Friday night. Saturday, Aberdeen again. Cedar Lake is running once again. I don't think it's anything in particular, just the UMSSS Wing Sprint Car Series. And then we also have Madison Speedway. They are also racing on that Saturday. North Central Speedway and Rice Lake is back in action after a week off, except they don't have street stocks because they have a big race coming up on Tuesday, the Little Dream. Viking Speedway is also racing, which actually they also have late models on the card. So be interesting to see what kind of field of late models they get over in Alexandria. I think that's their one show of late models that they have this year. And then Sunday the 27th, Casino Speedway has the Dirt Race Central Street Stock Tour. So that should be a fun night over in Watertown. Buffalo River Speedway is having Kids Night. And then Granite City Motor Park is racing, as well as the Redwood Speedway. And that'll cap off the weekend until Tuesday with a Little Dream at Rice Lake Speedway, which I am planning to attend.
Nice.
So that's always a very fun event to go to and attend as a fan and also to watch online. So kind of set up through fan donations, starts off with a minimal purse, and then people just kind of pour into it. Most of it goes to first, and then if you want to donate to other positions or for hard charger, first wreck, first person out, whatever it may be, that's kind of, it's a crowd-funded event, and it's really fun to be a part of. And so we will now display the white flag and give a shout out to our good friend Brody Carlsrud in the B1 IMCA stock car. Just got one race on the weekend over at Red River Valley Speedway, and it was a good one. Runner-up finish, so great run for Brody Carlsrud in the B1 IMCA stock car. Be sure to stay up to date on all his race results at B1 Brody Carlsrud Racing on Facebook, and also check out his podcast, The Real Deal with B1. He's going to be doing a lot of racing over the next couple weeks, so thank you, Brody, for your support of the podcast as well, and great to see you during the sprint car night. Got to hang out with Jessup and I as well. All right, wins of the week, John. Who do you got for wins of the week?
Oh, I get to start. Ooh,
Ooh.
this will be fun. So I'm gonna kind of leave the sprint car guys, I think, to you guys as well, if you guys want to kind of, keep them in your back pocket. Except I'm gonna take the main one right here, and my big win of the week goes to Anthony Macri for picking up
Mm.
the King's Royal on Saturday night. I have to give him that win of the week because that was pretty good for the PA Posse group because Macri still runs quite regularly over the Pennsylvania area. And congratulations to Anthony on a big win as he was pretty strong the whole 4 days that they were over there in Eldora.
Mhm.
So great job to him. My next win of the week, I am going to give it over to a couple of sisters,
Ooh.
the Eisenshinks, because they raced a lot this past week. They raced a ton over there on Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday. And they had some very, very, very nice statistics with them winning heat races in multiple divisions, finishing strong in their feature events, and not just in the sprint car ranks either, also in the late model ranks. So both the sisters, congratulations on a very successful weekend and a fun weekend for both of those sisters.
So just going along with that, I don't know how many friends you're with on Facebook that are doing this sharing of the post thing. So I think it was Stephen Lewis that initially shared this post on those on Amelia and Layla. And it's been kind of like shared like Inception like wise. Because like, oh, this is impressive. It's like, yes, very impressive. And it's like an Inception type post that has been going on all day today. And it's like, holy cow, this is trippy.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat to see how many divisions they ran this week, right? Because they ran a lot. A lot of sprint cars with the 305s, with the 410s, with the late models, and the amount of miles they put on as well, just on the racetrack, but also the amount of wins they had with it, with heat wins and stuff like that one too. Pretty impressive for both those sisters.
Yep.
So congratulations to Mia and Layla in the 15 and in the one. Then we have to go through and give my final win of the week to a driver that picked up his first career win on Friday. I have to give it to Jason Meidinger. That was a really fun race to announce, a really fun race to watch, and congratulations to Jason for running a very nice race, keeping his cool, getting his marks each and every turn, calming himself down when he lost the lead there briefly and getting it back. And congratulations, Jason, from 13th. Your car number to first was pretty impressive.
Yeah, when I heard that it was his first stock car win or in general, I'm like, wow. Yeah. Awesome wins. Jessup, you get to go next.
Well, all right, if I have to. I will start with the well, who do I want to go with? There's a lot that we could go with here. I guess I'll go with late models first. My first one goes to Jesse Glenn's for picking up the Mater Memorial win over at the Cedar Lake Speedway, and I think they had over. I know they had over 50 some cars. I think it
Yeah,
was.
they had a lot of late models.
I think at one point they had pre-registered like 62 or 63 cars.
They had 58 total
So they
for the
lost
night.
about a handful from whatever reasons. But at the end of the night, it was Jesse Glenn's picking up the big feature win. Just throwing some stats out here because these guys need to be highlighted too. In second place, it was Nick Anvelink. He got second from 19th. In third place, it was Jake Radetsky, who got third from 20th. In fourth place, it was Daniel Bargender, who charged all the way from 14th. And in fifth place was Chad Mater, who charged from 17th. Now, I think they had a really big wreck that took out about half the field.
They had a big wreck, and I
Was
don't
that
know,
in the
Jessup, if it
super
was the
stocks?
maybe they had a big wreck in the late models though too, because remember Sammy Mars's car was
Yeah, that was bad.
really
Yeah, that
and
was a
they
big hit.
showed the video. I saw a video of it too, where
I
Corey
think it was
Krasper
Mitch.
got together
Yep,
with
Mitch
somebody
McGrath
and
came in hot on the bottom and
yep,
punted two cars, and that sent
yep,
what's his butt
Krasper.
Crasper up
Yep.
into
Because
Mars.
Corey was on his side like this,
Mm-hmm.
and then the car set and it went immediately right into Sammy when he was on the outside, and they both ended up in the wall pretty hard.
Yep. So though there's a lot of movement in the top second through fifth. Jesse won from the pole, which nothing wrong with that. That's I think they didn't they race for over $10,000.
I think it was
It's
10,500.
10,050. Yep.
Yeah, so that was pretty impressive. 10th through 26th, DNF'd. Interesting stat. So my next one is gonna be. I'll go with Weston Olson. I'll leave the other one for Mason.
Oh, jeez,
Uh,
thanks. That was my main one on my list.
you want Weston? I'll give you Weston. I don't care. I got plenty here. I got 7 winners here. I'm gonna pass on you, Weston, but just remember I had you first. So um, my second one will go to Jack Dover for picking up the King of the Wings. Third place at Norman County, second place at Red River, and second place at Buffalo, and that's called consistency. And consistency is what usually ends up being the thing that helps people win a lot. So, congratulations to Jack and Tim Estenson Racing, and that was a pretty cool deal for you guys. It was good to see Jack Dover race again. I've only seen him race a handful of times, and he's always done quite well. And then, I got 2 guys to choose from here. You could go with Scotty with picking up the the mod feature win over at Jamestown. But I think I'm going to keep it over in Cedar Lake. Another one of my good buddies out there. Steve Stewart picked up a big super stock feature win over at Cedar Lake. That has got to be one of his biggest wins to date. And then he also followed that up by finishing second the following night in Proctor. So another really good night. Steve's been running really well. I mean, just looking at his stats this year, 5 wins and 13 features, 11 top fives in that, and 13 top tens. Steve, you must be doing something right. Keep it up, buddy. So maybe we'll see you when we head back east here in the fall.
Yep, definitely well deserved of a win of the week. So I'll start off over in Alexandria for my first win of the week and give it to the Dykhoff family. Both Haley and Kyle won their respective feature races. Haley in the Midwest Modifieds and Kyle in the Wissota Street Stocks. So great to have a nice little family celebration on Saturday night over at the Viking Speedway. My second win of the week is going to go to Colton Brower. This was his weekend. Runner-up at Thunder Bay, Ontario on Wednesday. Win at the Cheyenne Speedway on Thursday. Friday night, a win over at the Black Hills Speedway. Saturday, win over the Miller Central Speedway. And Sunday, capping off the weekend with the win at Bemidji Speedway. Pretty solid weekend.
It's a lot of
I
driving.
would say so, Mason.
There's a lot of driving too. See, people think I'm nuts with my travels. I don't hold a candle to him or Trey Hess.
Yeah, but
It's true.
they're not just doing it for fun. They're doing it for like a national championship. There's no national championships for you yet.
Well, I mean, he is
Yes.
going
I
for
mean, besides
fantasy.
the show up points.
Yeah, I mean,
there
he
is
is trying to
that.
go for fantasy, so.
Yes.
Right, I
Show
guess
up
there is
points.
that. Yeah. So that's my second win of the week. And my third, Jessup kind of mentioned him, but got to give a shout out to Weston Olson. Just a few weeks ago, he picked up his first career 410 sprint car win. And it's interesting to see once you get that first one, they kind of start coming in droves. So he got 2 wins on the weekend. The first on Friday on the non-sanctioned show at River Valley Speedway, but he also won on Sunday at the Buffalo River Speedway to finish out the King of the Wings weekend. Finished third on Saturday and had some trouble on Thursday at Norman County. So, but overall, very good weekend for Weston Olson. Again, like we mentioned earlier, still kind of getting used to the 410s and came from the Lightning Sprint ranks, and so very much becoming a contender each night that he goes on the racetrack. And so, those are my 3 wins of the week. Any other closing thoughts or anything folks want to add before we sign off?
I swear we'll do a Western Roundup here in the next month.
You do. We are falling very far behind.
We're not going to do them all. We're just going to talk points.
Top points. Sounds like a good idea. John, anything from you?
No, I'm excited for the weekend. I think we're kind of I hate to say we're hitting kind of the middle of the summer months slash later summer months, but there's been a lot of really good racing action. I'm extremely excited for some of the shows upcoming here in the month of August as well as September, along with this upcoming weekend with some big specials because car counts have been pretty healthy up here across the board with where we have been at for the racing area. So with that being said, sometimes car counts kind of dip this time of year. They really haven't dipped off a whole lot, so that kind of gives me some pretty good hope for some big car counts that year in specials. And fans have been pretty good too. I mean, fans have been packing the grandstands and continue packing the track. So I mean, keep it up.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. That is a great way to end episode 19 of season 4 for the Track Packers podcast. As always, be sure to like, share, and comment and let us know where you're watching from. We always appreciate the support. Thank you to our sponsors, Hitch Harness, The Real Deal with B1 Brody Carlsrud, and Isaac Hot Sauce Sondrol. July is winding down very quickly, so we're going to be getting to August and September. So take every opportunity to go out there and pack the track.